Hi. Today I am going to show you how to fold a paper crane. The fun thing about these is they're really simple. They're one of the first things that you learn how to make if you're learning any sort of origami. And you can make them out of just about any kind of paper. I usually prefer plain computer paper. You can buy the expensive origami paper. Some of it comes pre-lined to show you how to fold it. But I really don't think you need it, and it's a lot more expensive, so if you're just going to practice, computer paper is fine. The problem with computer paper is it is a rectangle, and we need a square. So the easiest way to do that is to take one corner and fold it over to the edge to make yourself a square. You should have about 2.5 inches. If you're using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, you should have about 2.5 inches of paper left over. And if you're mildly OCD like I am, you will take a ruler and measure just to make sure I have it even all the way across, which I do not. Okay, let's do like that. And then I like to reinforce my folds with my fingernails. You can use a pair of scissors, you can use the ruler. You can use scissors to cut the extra paper off, or you can do what I'm about to do, which is just line up the ruler and it tears nice and easy. And then you get extra paper that you can make a smaller one with. So if you have a triangle, what you're going to need to do is open it up and fold a piece of paper in half again. And again, reinforce your folds. The folds are the most important part. If you don't have the folds down right, then it'll still work. It'll just be a little more difficult to get the paper all the way configured the way you want it to. And then I turn the paper so flat edge is facing me, fold it in half again. The most tedious part about this is all of the preparation folds. There's quite a few of them, and really it's the foundation, which is the most important part of anything. If you don't have the foundation right, then you can't have any substance to stand on. But you have to get the foundation, and the foundation usually takes a long time. So now you have a square piece of paper with 4 folds, and we're going to make a whole bunch more. The next most important step is to take a corner and fold it in to line up with the center diagonal line. Make it all the way to the point so that you have the center line is in the middle there, and you have your corner folded all the way up so it lines up with that center line. You're going to do that on the other side. Cool thing about origami, a lot of it is symmetrical, so once you learn one fold, you just keep doing it over and over and over again, which is what I'm about to do this. So now I have a diamond shape. The 2 corners are folded in, and remember the shape because you will see it again. From here on out, I'm going to do this to every corner that we have, so you will have a whole bunch more folds, and all of the corners will come to a nice little point like that. And while I'm working, I'm going to tell you a little bit about origami. First, I learned how to fold paper cranes from a babysitter when I was growing up. And she showed me how to do it, and then we started. This was after reading that book, 1,000 Paper Cranes. And I just love the book. It's about this kid who was sick, and they said if he made 1,000 paper cranes, his wish would come true, his or her wish. I don't remember, it's been a while. And so he started folding cranes and ended up not surviving to finish the cranes. And so people who heard of his story and heard of all the cranes that he made banded together and finished folding the 1,000 paper cranes for him, and then they had a big ceremony with the paper cranes. If you Google how to fold a paper crane, you'll get about 300,000 different hits. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. You don't really need one right or wrong way. This is just the way I happen to know. Another cool fact is if you go to New York City to see the 9/11 Memorial Museum, there is a whole bunch of paper crane chains made that they have on display that people made as a sign of, because the crane is a sign of peace. So people made these chains, whole different colors of cranes, and it's kind of really neat to see. I have no idea how long it would take these people to make all these cranes, because one crane takes quite a while, at least for me. Okay, so once you get all of the folds done and reinforced, you have, make sure that's all of them, you have your square piece of paper. And I actually have this one over here, which I drew the lines on so you can see what the folds are supposed to look like. Nice little star shape with everything pretty much meeting in the middle. From here, I'm going to use this one so you can sort of see these three lines right here, these two and this middle one, those are your most important folds right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this middle line and push it in while pushing the other two out. So you basically form a triangle in the middle like this, and you're going to do that all the way around with all 4 points. So I like to go through and reinforce my points first. All 4 of them. And then once the folds are all reinforced around the edges, so you did all of that folding for just 3 lines, it's kind of a pain, but again, the foundation has to be set up first. Then they start to come together, and if your middle is flat, you put all the points together, you get a fun little origami diamond, which is great fun, but only about halfway through. What we're going to do with this is actually pick any side, push in on the point, and flatten the point in, and fold those together, and then push in on the opposite side so you have the diamond shape again. And you'll see this is the same shape as when we started and we started making our foundation folds. This is the shape that we had. Told you you'd see it again, and here it is. So now what we're going to do is put the small point up at the top, and you're going to take the long side of the diamond and fold it up away from the small point. And then you're going to do that on the opposite side as well. So you have the 2 diamonds up and then 2 little flaps down here that look kind of like legs. What we're going to do is open up each of these folds and flatten them out this way. Do it on both sides. So now you have 2 legs up here and 2 flat diamonds over here. And these flat diamonds we're also going to fold up. And if your folds are nice, everything will line up. My folds, you can tell, are not that nice. There's a little space up there. It doesn't really matter. From this point, you can sort of see the leftover folds from before. We're going to follow one of those folds. There's 2 of them. It doesn't matter which one you follow, but we're going to follow one of those folds and fold the top of the triangle down to line up. It should line up with this edge. So you make another triangle. And we're going to flip it over and do the same thing, follow the same line so that the triangle folds down the same way. And this is forming the wings of your crane. So from here, you have another triangle. You have the 2 flaps. Pick one flap, and you're going to pull it forward until it stretches out the bottom, and then it needs to come down about 1/2 inch, and press it so that it folds. So you have a base of a crane. You pull the back one out until it folds down. This gives a little more dimension to it. You don't actually have to do this. I just like to because it gives a little more dimension, a little more shape. Fun thing about birds, the leading edge of their wing is the flat edge. So this is the front side. You can see how there's a triangle. This is the front side of your wing. This top part, you just fold down a bit to create the head, and there you have a paper crane. And with your leftover pieces, you make another square and can make tiny ones. And they're absolutely adorable, and you can make them out of just about anything. I've made them out of gum wrappers and a whole bunch of other stuff. I used to make them in class when I was bored, but I highly recommend paying attention in class instead of making paper cranes. Enjoy!